I have made a lot of TikToks in the past talking about new posters for movies that I'm excited about, but today is a little different. Today is special. This is the very first poster for the very first movie that I ever worked on as a writer. If you follow me, you might have heard me talk about this a little bit in the past. It's called GOAT. It is produced by Stephen Curry and also a lot of the people who made Spider-Verse. It's about a goat. He wants to be the greatest of all time. You can see his ball here. The sport they play in the movie, it is basketball, but it's also much more than that. The movie is sort of working in conjunction with the NBA, which is why the very first poster dropped this weekend, All-Star Weekend, and the film comes out exclusively in theaters next year, also during All-Star Weekend. I can't even tell you how cool it is in the age of streaming, these big budget movies that go straight to a streamer, that the first movie that I worked on is going exclusively to theaters, and that is a Sony strategy, and I love it. I worked in this movie for about a year and a half maybe. It was a couple years ago. Animated films take a very long time to make, but I look back on that time very fondly because it was really like my boot camp. I was just thrown into this film as the only writer for a very long time, and I wrote many drafts of this movie. And the way animation works is generally a lot of people work on these movies. There was a draft written before me. I read that draft. We kept going, we kept changing it, and then, I leave, somebody else comes in. So I don't know exactly where the film landed, but I know a lot. But this is just really exciting because, again, if you follow me, you know that I talk a lot about how screenwriters don't have a lot to show for their work often because so many films that you work on never get made. And, I've been doing this on TikTok for a while now, and a lot of people say, well, what have you worked on? And I say, well, I worked on this thing, but it's not getting made. I worked on that thing. But I finally have something to point to and say, hey, I worked on that. I will continue to cover any news based around this movie because I'm really excited when casting is updated, when the trailers start to come out. I'll have to do reactions and all that. But for now, I'm just going to say get excited for this movie because it's going to be great.